All right, what's up? It is April 30th. Welcome to another Office Hours. Right now, I'm going to go into the YouTube comments just to see what I've been missing. It's been a pretty hectic 48 hours. When's the last time I did Office Hours? It's been a couple days, I think. So it's been a pretty hectic couple of days. Lots of classes and just things to manage. I'm going to just catch up on everything that I haven't replied to and even some of the ones that I did reply to. Just do a quick summary on some of the conversations that have been happening in my YouTube channel and also in our Discord server. Just recap some of the big takeaways from the last couple of days, and then after that, if anyone joins us in the chat, I'll answer your questions here as well. All right. Let me see. Actually, I'm just getting an idea right now. Here, sorry. So I have an idea, and I'm gonna deal with this a little later. But yeah. Let me just set this up really quickly on my desktop. So, cool. All right. So I'm going to share my screen now. Mexico, what is up? Good. I feel like Mexico, you're somewhere in are you Central Asia? Are you Southeast Asia? I forget where you were. But anyway, good day to you wherever you are in the world. All right, so I'm gonna go into the YouTube comments now. These auto responses are actually super lazy and super not terrible. Thanks, will do. I guess I'll just use this auto response and heart. Thanks, load. Okay, Zeki. Which SAT prep books would you recommend? Oh man, someone else. Oh, that's hilarious. Two people are asking the same thing on two different videos. Okay, well. Oh, you're East Coast? How come I thought you were, wait, NA East? When I see NA East, I'm thinking North America East Coast. And you were up all night. So I'm confused when you say you were up all night. But basically, it sounds like you were actually in the same time zone as me. All right, so good afternoon.
So are you busy right now?
Give me a sec, everyone. 1 sec. Yeah. All right, sorry guys, I had to do a quick little conversation to deal with some housekeeping matters. I'm right back. Okay, so you should be able to hear me. Yeah, you can hear me. Here we go. I was looking at which SAT prep book would you recommend? You know, that's the thing is I actually don't know because I haven't looked at a proper besides like Erica Meltzer, which I saw last summer. Okay. For the writing. Like, I haven't really looked at SAT prep books since 2016, which is when I first quit this job, when I stopped being a tutor in 2016. I became a product manager in tech companies in Korea. Okay, so I came back to the SAT, to the new SAT starting last year. And I haven't been using prep books at all. I've been using, because naturally I don't really, like it's not really my thing. I don't need a prep book for me. I just need to go and catch up on all the stuff. So I haven't really been using prep books. So I actually don't have recommendations for prep books right now. So all I can say at the moment is, maybe I can make this a series, just like I did with Khan Academy, where I go through different prep books and share my reviews on them. Okay. Honestly, I have to be honest. I'm not really excited to do that because I don't love prep books. Prep books, I feel like, are very reductivist. They're a little. They're a little simplistic. They kind of trigger me. They make me angry sometimes. So I don't love prep books. So the idea of doing a whole like review series or Saul React series, it doesn't make me happy. But I can consider that. I also think it's sort of lower. I think it's sort of lower priority because I think honestly for most kids, all you really need is to go through the QASs slowly and learn high quality lessons from every single mistake that you make. Every single mistake. As long as you're learning high quality lessons every single time, then you don't really need the prep books to tell you what the question types are, because you can do that on your own. You can like look at the questions and then be like, oh, there are similarities between these questions, and you can kind of come up with your own definition for what kind of question type that is on your own. So I don't generally recommend prep books except for things that are skill-based. Prep books, though, are pretty useful for things that are knowledge-based. So I should make one caveat here. Prep books are really good if it's things that you have to know. And what prep books do is they just sort of condense all the knowledge into like a very simple outline that you can sort of like skim through and be like, okay. Like, so the Civil War happened and Abraham Lincoln, he died. And, you can like remember these things faster when you have a prep book because it sort of packages it all really nicely when you're doing knowledge-based tests. But when you're doing skill-based tests, I don't know, prep books seem kind of, it's a little iffy for me. So at the moment, I have no recommendations. But if you are doing writing, Erica Meltzer is pretty fast and easy. It's really easy to get through an Erica Meltzer book and to get a general sense of all the grammar ideas. So the Erica Meltzer books are pretty solid for writing, and all the new things that came out in the last 6 years or 7 years, 6 years, all the new prep books and programs and whatever the hell came out in the last 6 years, I don't know anything about because I haven't looked at them. Okay. College Panda for math, and you'll be a math genius. You know what? Maybe I will, because so this week, so now I have 1 week left until I'm taking the May SAT, like some of you guys. I probably will do Khan Academy first, just to get through it. I don't think I will stream it, because I don't think I'll stream it. I just want to, because streaming is a lot of energy, and I want to save my streaming energy for reading content. So I'm going to just go through the Khan Academy math on my own really quickly. But if I feel like I need more, I might do College Panda. Thank you, Mexico, for that recommendation. Then we have Miriam. I'm looking back on the screen right now. We have Miriam who is saying, let me see, what was this? Oh, inference. Yeah, I did a write-up on this. So I feel like I actually need to have a whole page on just inference questions in the future, and just describe like a little mini chapter about inferences. And for me to write that, I have to sit down and really think about what people mean by inference and what I mean by inference. And like, first of all, just the word inference, people like define it differently, and they mean different things with that word. And so we need to just start with just the word itself and clarify what the hell we mean, what we're talking about, and why inference is not some sort of imaginative creative skill. It's an actual direct logical skill, and I need to go through all of that, and I need to have a whole separate section on that. I am not ready to make all that. I can't spitball it right now. I'm not ready to give a whole lecture on it right now. I'd have to actually prepare it. But I did give a initial look at what I mean by inference and why that's a logical skill rather than like a creative skill or anything like that, okay? So you can kind of see that. You can see that if you just look at my screen right now and if you go to these comments. But basically what I say is, here are some extremely simplified examples of inferences. Inferences always come from the text. They're not something you just imagine out of thin air, okay? It has to come from the text. And the very simplified idea of what an inference is you just have to logically fill in the blank, okay? So I can do a fuller lecture on this in the future, but for now, just spitballing it, just rolling with it. There is an inference that you must make. It's not some optional thing, okay? When you read a sentence like, unlike the boys, the girls kick ass, you must infer something. If you do not infer this, then there's something wrong with your reading, okay? You must infer the boys don't kick ass. You know why? Because the word unlike, right? So it never specifically said the boys don't kick ass, but you have to infer that the boys don't kick ass because of the word unlike, okay? Logical inferences are just like this. They're like puzzles, okay, in the sense that they always come from the previous clue. So then we can extend this. If I say something like, the girls like science, unlike the boys, they also kick at it, then you must infer that they don't kick ass at science, okay? You can't avoid it. You have to infer it. That's why it comes from the text, okay? We're not going to say other crazy things, though. You can't infer these things. You can't infer that the boys don't like science. You can't say that. You know why? Because the word unlike wasn't before this part. Maybe the boys do, maybe they don't. And then you also can't say that the boys don't kick ass at anything. If they might kick ass at soccer, they might kick ass at math, they might kick ass at other things, whichever these hypothetical boys that we're talking about. We have no idea because the passage only says these two sentences, okay? So you're not wildly guessing at words that are related. Just because the words science and ass are here doesn't mean that that's the right answer. The inference has to logically follow from the text that's actually on the page, so that we could even extend it a little further. The girls like science. They were unlike the boys in some key respects. They kick ass at it. Moreover, they grew up to find success in STEM fields. You can and you must infer that they don't kick ass at science, and also they did not grow up to find success in STEM fields. Why is that? Because of this sentence over here. They were unlike the boys in key respects. Okay, so all of this is to say, and you cannot infer some other random things. Like, of course, they could have been successful somewhere else, right? They could have been. We don't know for sure. So all of this is to say that inferences come from the page. They're not things that you make up in your own mind. They always come from the page. So if you think that there's an inference, some kids when they see an inference question, they just go into their own brains and they just sort of like try to sort it out logically. That's a bad habit. You should actually go back to the passage, okay, that the inference question is asking about, and you should learn more details about that thing. And then you should try to see what logically follows from that. Okay? That's my general advice right now about inferences. Okay, I'll in the future I'll do something probably more detailed, okay? But until then, you guys can ask me questions and I'll just answer these questions one by one until I'm ready to publish like a larger attempt on the inference questions. Okay, and I'm looking at some of these other I already went over I think I went over all these other ones in the last stream. I did. So that is it for the YouTube comments. Let me double check Discord and see what kind of conversations we had in Discord. Hang on. Let's see. Oh, wasn't this really good? This was really good, right? No. Uh, okay, so Vex and I had this conversation about what to do for writing. Okay, and you know what? I'll actually demonstrate it on my iPad. Give me a sec. Oh, it's not connected. Let me connect my iPad. Give me a sec. Okay, guys, stop doing all the process elimination, question type nonsense, okay? And see if you can actually correct the sentences on your own. So how do you do this? Okay, I'm just going to use this page as an example, and I'll use this whole page. Give me a second, guys. If you want to improve on writing really fast, okay? Now this is not this oftentimes for many students this leads to an immediate increase in their writing score, okay? And then after that, what happens is you have to actually work on whatever your weaknesses are. So you'll have a quick jump and then you'll plateau unless you actually work on your weaknesses, okay? But this exercise I'm about to share with you right now is going to make your thought process much more streamlined. If you haven't been doing this already, you should be doing something like this, okay? So the approach for the writing test time that you should try is to read these sentences, Constable and Turner was, and then you should try to, in your head, imagine the word were, ardent rivals, and then you should predict the answer before your eyes even turn to the right side of the page, okay? You should try to know the answer before you even look at A, B, C, D. Okay, that's my general advice on writing. Well, that's the target. That's how you want to be taking the test. Okay, in May, in a week. But how do you force yourself to see whether you're even good at that? Right? How do you force yourself to do it? And then how do you diagnose whether you're even good at doing this? Well, cover the passages. Cover it all together. Okay? Cover the passages, and what you should do is you should basically just edit it until it seems correct. So, were ardent rivals. Constable felt that his paintings represented nature in an abstract way, or just steam and light. They had stylistic differences which grew into personal animosity. Now, this is pretty easy for all the sort of grammatical oriented ones, but what about the topic oriented ones? The conflict came to a head. Even here, you should be able to predict what kind of question might come out. Is this about the main idea of the paragraph? Okay, what is it about? Is it supposed to be a supporting detail? So I actually haven't read this passage before, so I don't want to spoil this passage. I want to save this passage for like a future stream. So let me erase all that. But I want you guys to go and try this once, okay? Cover the passages and see how many you can get right without even looking at the answers. You want to be able to do that well. In fact, I think if you actually made me do it, I think I could probably do it for, usually I could probably do it for 10 out of 11 or 11 out of 11 questions, okay? So you want to be at the same level. So Vex and I, hang on, let me switch. Okay, so Vex and I were talking about doing that, and Vex actually tried it in our server, and he was actually asking further questions about how to do it. So yeah, go ahead, guys. If you want to work on your writing, and if you want some additional advice on what to do, join the Discord and ask some questions, and come with the sort of attitude that you're not only going to take, but you're also going to try to help out. And I think that'll benefit not just you, but everyone in our little community. So that was that conversation. It was really important, and it was a really good conversation to have. Let me skip. Oh, by the way, Vex is not the only student that says this. Many people have told me this, but I'll just show you. And I definitely did better with your method. I got 2 wrong instead of 5. That's a huge difference, guys. It's a huge difference for one passage. That's one passage, okay? All right, so that's Vex. We have some specific, a quick announcement is I now have a, what do you call it? Let me share my screen with you. Okay, I now have a SAT resources page with a release test database, and I'll be uploading all my YouTube links over here. So you'll be able to see every QAS that is out there. Okay, every QAS that is out there, as well as, like sometimes, a QAS like over here, 2018 April School Day is actually the same as 2018 May International, right? So you'll be able to see correspondence just so that you don't get confused. So it's a concordance table as well as a list of links, and eventually I'll probably add more detail to this database, like which reading passages are in this test and whatnot. So I'll be developing this. But if you want to have some database that's a little cleaner than the ones that are at Reddit or McElroy Tutoring, then you can just come to my Notion website. Okay, so that's another quick update. Yay, can I interest you in a math question? I just want to see if you can, you just want to, no, I'm not here to just solve math questions, but yay, I don't mind you sharing it, you can share it, but I want to get through the conversations that we had on Discord first, so let me get through them first, and then I'll look at the math question, and then I'll tell you what I think. All right, here we go. Bodius has this sort of misconception about our Discord server, but hey, this Discord server is not only about math. It's about it's just for people who maybe this is overly broad. Maybe that's why it's awkward. But it's not only about SAT. Actually, it's for all of my students, and I don't only teach SAT students. So it's for people who want to. How do I phrase this well? Just students who want to grow, and they might have diverse interests and whatnot, but they resonate. When I talk about the whole process of growing and studying and learning and questioning yourself, and because you guys kind of know the way that I explain things on the SAT is a little different from the way that some other people explain things on the SAT, right? Like if you are into that way of thinking, of sort of thinking about your own like thought process and your learning process, this community is for you, regardless of what your interests are. Now, so along those lines, I will add one thing. One awkward little thing that happened was that. One of the people in the Discord server messaged me privately saying that, hey Saul, as a regular member of the server, I can basically delete other people's messages and like delete channels. Like I can just do whatever I want. Isn't that weird? And I said, yeah, that's true. You can actually completely erase everything in the server if you wanted to. I mean, if you were like a little terrorist, you could. And I guess I could see the changelog on it, so I'd be able to see it. I'd be able to see who did it, and you would just have to deal with the consequences of that. So if you want to terrorize us, you could. But right now, I'm doing that on purpose. I'm letting it. For now, we're a small community. We're not big at all. So I want to start from a position of high trust rather than a low trust, and low rules rather than high rules. And the reason is because I want this to feel like a place that anyone can contribute to and anyone can make better on their own. So I've never made this announcement, but I want to actually say you guys can actually make your own channels in my server. At the moment, there's nothing stopping you from doing it. Okay, the only thing that's stopping you from doing it is that no one else has done it, so that's just a bit of social inertia. But you can make any channels that you want. The question is whether your channels will actually be a positive contribution to the community. That's up to you, and you guys can try it and see if it works or not. If it succeeds or fails, that's on you for now. for me, I encourage the experimentation because I want this to feel like a collaborative effort, not just like a solve does everything effort. Right now, I'm high trust, low rules at the moment. Okay. Obviously, when community gets bigger, there's no ways around rules. We have to have rules, and rules aren't a bad thing per se. Rules are a way of systematizing our best practices. But at the moment, it's very open-ended. Anyone can come in and create new roles, new channels, whatever. Okay. My overarching guideline, though, about my thoughts on this is that we should be moving in the direction of positive contribution and positive growth. That's the only religion really in my Discord server. It's the only law in my Discord server. All right, here we go. So that's that. So yeah, you can definitely talk about math if you want. You could even make like an economics channel if you want. You can make a business channel if you want. It doesn't matter. You can make whatever channel you want, and you can have any conversation that you want. So I want to get through that. And there were some others over here in homework help. Some people have been supporting, just sharing their support, like Savage Frost, just telling me that things have been helpful. Thank you guys for the moral support. Oh, and this was fun. This is fun. Guys, this is kind of like a slice of like a tutoring session with me, honestly, but this was, I'm not going to go into detail about this because if you are really interested, you can just go into the server and go into homework help and you can find it. But related as to really a question from the SAT that I really enjoyed, which was question 20. And even the people who got it right, which is, so I'm not going to tell you what's right, okay? But for question 20, there are some people who got it wrong, some people who got it right, and even the people who got it right, they got it right for the wrong reasons. So we were able to have like a kind of extended conversation where I was going back and forth with related. So this is related, this is me, right? Just walking him through the process of getting to the right answer without me telling the right answer until later. I don't think I told the right answer, or at least I didn't tell the way that I was thinking through it until after other people shared theirs. So that's usually how my coaching sessions go. I call it coaching, not tutoring, but that's usually how my coaching sessions go. I make you think about it on your own as much as possible before I tell you the answer. So that's a good example of what the thinking process should be like when you're trying to learn really, when you're trying to maximize your learning from a single question. Okay, so that was really, I think that was really worth sharing, but I won't go into the details of it because it's a little too technical right now for me to share on office hours. All right, so that's that. And earlier, Ye was asking, did Ye share this math question? You didn't, although you did say hello here. So, so no math questions right now. Then that means I'm about to wrap up my office hours. Let me see. I went over the YouTube comments. I went over the database. And I think it might be a good idea to actually share with you what's kind of on my mind on what to do with this. I think office hours is actually a perfect time to start sharing with you sort of like my live thoughts on what I should be doing with this server. So, I should rename this YouTube channel. So right now, I'm just, yesterday and today I've been thinking a lot about like what kinds of things are coming down the pipeline. That's a business metaphor. Let me use a different metaphor. I'm just thinking about what projects I want to be working on for the next month or two through my YouTube. So there's the first one, which is really obvious, which is finish all reading QAS, okay? So in fact, I can generalize this, just say SAT solve live, and then I can break this down into finish all writing QAS, and then finish all PSAT as well. Okay, so those are sort of on my mind right now. Okay, those are on my mind right now. This is the most important thing. Then we also have, okay, this is something I'm really realizing is a major weakness, because the last couple of days, instead of streaming as much, I've been focusing more on my streams and what the experience is like, and I've been having a lot of technical problems. So actually, technical issues. How to minimize? I'm just going to say minimize. So right now I have been having problems either forgetting to share my screen, or like my audio being cut out, and like a bunch of problems in the last couple of streams. Kind of embarrassing, honestly, that they're plaguing me like this. So I need to find some way of minimizing technical issues. Okay, not a very sexy idea, but it's very important. Chat module in the video is super important right now. I've went through watching some of my streams, and I realized, oh my god, it's like really confusing to not know who I'm responding to. So I definitely need to actually find some way of feeding the YouTube chat into the video itself, so that it shows up like down here. Okay. So I need to look into it. I don't know how to do it right now, but I know it's not that hard, so I need to look into it. And then timestamps. This has been an ongoing thing. Timestamps as chapters. So right now, I think right now with office hours, I just do timestamps in comments. Okay, that's what I'm currently doing. But I find that timestamping and chaptering, it takes me a lot of energy, and so it means either I don't do it, or I have to specifically make time to do it. Okay, because it turns out it takes more time than you would expect. Okay, but I feel like my videos my streams are, because they're so long, they're actually kind of overwhelming to watch if you don't have any timestamps or chapters. So for SAT Solve Live, I definitely should be actually giving chapters, right? So that you guys can like quickly find which passage and which questions you're looking for. So it's on my mind. Honestly, I'm not the kind of person that like loves these kinds of administrative work, but I know that it's really important. So in fact, I would say it's even more important than some of these other ones at the moment. So I would actually organize it like this. We really need those timestamps and chapters. So what this means is actually, I think I will not be streaming every single day from Tuesday through Saturday. I think that Tuesday to Friday is my public commitment. I think what I'll be doing instead is Tuesday, Thursday, and occasionally Saturday. If I can do Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday streams, then I can at least save some time to do like all these timestamps and other things with my limited time and energy. Okay, so those are some things that are on my mind. All right. And the final idea that I'm working with right now is walkthrough of requirements, like, it's last week till the May SAT, but I'm just thinking about like what kinds of content I could put in. The thing though is that honestly, I'm going to be pretty busy streaming for the QAS, and I'm going to be pretty busy studying for the math, so I might not even do this at all, other than walkthrough requirements night before, and then day, and then score reveal. Okay, I think these are the kinds of videos that I think are worth doing, even if I don't do like a preparation course or whatever for the May SAT. Okay, so that's that. These are sort of my plans that are on my mind right now. It's kind of a lot, and I would say this is the lowest priority and this is the highest priority. So just know that that's what's on my mind. And if you guys have thoughts on what I could be doing, just let me know. All right, now I'm looking at the Discord server, I guess. Okay, here we go. Dude, my brain is mush. But okay, let me look at this. In the polynomial functions f and g above, a, b, s, t are constants. A, b, s, t, sure. If the polynomial h equals fx plus gx is divisible, hilarious. So I don't have, okay, I'm gonna switch to my iPad, okay, so that I could show you my work. Hang on, my iPad's being stupid right now. Oh my God. Dude. Yo, iPad, you're being really dumb. So I was using guided access on my iPad, and look at this. The passcode, how can I put a passcode if you're gonna give me the... Let me out of this, fools. Oh my God, so annoying. Okay, you know what? Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna type it. All right. So let me, okay. All right, let's type it. So let's add fg. So h of x is the two of them, right? So let's just add them together. So x to the fifth plus x to the fifth is 2x to the fifth. And then we have a plus s, x to the fourth. You know what? I'm gonna separate these a little so it's a little more legible. Plus b plus t, x to the third. All right. Now, if this is divisible by x to the fourth, then what must be true? B plus t has to equal 0. B plus t has to be equal 0. So it's D. Because x to the third power is not divisible by x to the fourth. So, yeah. I mean, hang on. Is divisible by... Is this from a real SAT question? Because that seems, the definition of is divisible by seems like a really bad definition. Like, seems really poorly worded is what I'm saying. So I don't know if this is a real SAT question. Because if it is, seems... I'm not a math expert, okay? So my language for math, for describing math, is really bad. Like, I have a good math intuition because I was really good at math as a kid, but I stopped using math for 15 years, so I no longer know how to describe things. Like, I don't even know what a polynomial is. I literally do not know what a polynomial is. I have no idea how to define it. so I think it's anything with an x in it, but it might be, like, I have no idea. So, like, so I have zero vocabulary for describing math, but what I can say is divisible by x to the fourth power? Isn't anything in the world divisible by x to the fourth power? Like, isn't zero is divisible by x to the fourth power, y to the third power is divisible by x to the fourth power, anything in the world is divisible by x to the fourth power, unless I'm misremembering the definition of divisible, okay? But assuming that they mean that it should divide nice and neatly, then it has to be D. It has to be D. So that's my response to that. Any questions on how I got that? No, it has to be a whole number. I'm assuming Ye is talking about the idea of divisibility. Sure. But yeah. Oh, it is it's a real test. Then maybe maybe I don't know the definition of divisible. I don't even know what terms means. What does terms mean? I don't remember any of this I don't remember any of this mathematical terminology. But anyway, yeah. I don't know why that's intuitive to me, but for me, it's very intuitive. Yeah, so for me, it was pretty straightforward. Okay, that works. Because I guess a term, that's why it's polytermic. It's like polytermial, except polynomial. Sure, that works. Yeah, so that is my thought process for that. I have nothing else to update on. Let me just double check what I wrote in the descriptions. Yeah, there's nothing interesting that I wrote in the description. So hey guys, that's it for office hours. I'm gonna come back in an hour to finish off my SAT streaming for today's QAS. I was only able to get through 3 passages. I need to finish off 2 more passages. So need a quick dinner break, and I also need to do a little bit of paperwork, and I will come back in just an hour to finish off the other QAS that I was streaming earlier today. All right, guys, take care and keep on growing. Peace.